I cannot work with a list of 100 tasks. No way to get all those tasks crapped into the time that I have. I made a list of, today I'm going to do these 5 tasks of these 4 things or whatever it was. I never got even to that list, let alone my list of 100 items. What changed was those 3 things got done, which is different from anything before.
Good evening, viewers. Tonight we've got Marc Innegraeve, and he's going to discuss with us how to gain an extra hour. So as time is money, we all want to do the best we can with our time. So good evening, Marc.
Good evening, Adrian, and it's great to see you.
Yeah, indeed. So tell me, Marc, for the viewers who haven't met you before, just tell me what your background is and what you're up to at the minute.
Okay, so I am a executive coach and a team coach. I work very often with large corporates or all kinds of business environments, mostly. I'm also a master in coaching from Henley Business School, which was my 3rd master. I'm doing a doctorate. And as you might guess, I am a very engaged and busy person.
Wow.
Which led me to the subject that we're discussing tonight.
Okay, yeah, so I'm very interested in your whole ideas around getting that extra hour. So you did a lot of research, didn't you, like how to structure your time? So it's not just time management, it's more like looking into the whole philosophy of how to put your life together.
Yeah, I was noticing that no matter how much time management I did, there was no way to get all those tasks crapped into the time that I had.
So in the series that we're going to do, we're going to cover 2 or 3 different types of strategy we could use. Mm-hmm. And some of them might work for people, some of them might not. But this is just a way of being aware of the different things you can do. So what do you want to talk about first?
It's a very easy thing. It's a thing called timeboxing. And many people might have already come across it. And it's just reserving an appropriate time to do whatever it is that you want to do.
Okay. So you've described this to me as if you're scheduling it like a meeting. Is that correct?
Yeah, because I noticed I made a list of, today I'm going to do these 5 tasks of these 4 things or whatever it was. And I've written them down in a book sometimes, and then I've started putting them at the top of my agenda. And I noticed I never got even to that list, let alone my list of 100 items. But what I did notice, and that's how I ended up there, is when there was in my agenda a meeting with whoever, John, Linda, whatever, I was at the meeting. So I managed to do my meetings, I don't manage to do my tasks. And I thought, what is the difference? The difference is the meetings, there's a fixed time. The agenda, the items, the to-do lists, not. So I started to blocking meetings with my to-do items. And every part is one. And I noticed, and I'm not the only one noticing that, I found other people, other research that
so you're specifying a time to do a specific thing.
Yeah, and not that much. So a 1 hour to do one thing, and then an hour later to do another thing. And I only specified like 3 things. But what changed was those 3 things got done, which is different from anything before.
So are you spreading those across a week, or how is that done?
Well, I would say that's a personal preference. I'm looking day by day.
Okay.
So I start to look what would be the highest priority today of what I've foreseen in the week, and I say I have 1 hour free in the morning because the rest is meetings. and I might have an hour in early afternoon and an hour in late afternoon. 3 blocks, that's it.
Okay.
That's what I have time for.
And have you arranged your tasks beforehand? Like certain.
Yeah.
You look at the bigger picture at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. And we should talk at some point about how to do that.
Okay.
But I do look at obviously I do look at getting everything written down somewhere. I have a big list, but I cannot work with a list of 100 tasks. I need to have like this limited version. I know every day about 3 tasks, so every week I shouldn't plan more than 15 big things. 15
Okay.
things.
So you're making a list of 15 things, and maybe on a later discussion, what we can do is we'll work out how do you work out those 15 things.
Absolutely.
So from a list of 100 things, how do we get it down to 15? So in summary, to time box, you take a list of items, and then you allocate a specific time to do those things, but only 1 or 2 things. So you pick maybe 3 things from your list that you've already looked at. Pick 3 things, and then you say, today I'm just going to do these 3 things, but set a time at which you're going to focus solely on those things. And we'll say we've time boxed between 10 and 11:30. So we've set a time box of 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
In that time, I know the audience is going to be asking this, in that time, there's a good chance of being interrupted.
Yes.
How do we make sure that doesn't happen? So do you close the office door? Do you put it do you say not available, do not disturb? What goes on there? How do we make that happen?
Same like in a meeting. It's very rude to in a meeting say, I'm sorry, Adrian, we are in this interview here, but somebody is calling. I'm gonna answer that first. You don't do that.
Definitely.
Well, I have a meeting with my task. And we need to talk about this later as well. I am using extra systems during that time block.
I see.
To manage my concentration. Okay. And that would be the focus part then. Obviously, if it's urgent, somebody's dying, what would be urgent? Or you could interrupt that. I mean,
do you communicate that to people in advance?
What I've seen in some companies is that they have a code, and where if somebody has a headphone on, you cannot disturb them. If they don't have a headphone on, you can disturb them. Put yourself on not disturb on Teams, for example, if it would be Teams. But actually, if you have a so-called meeting, that happens automatically.
Okay, okay, yeah. So basically, you've got other ways to manage that. You
have to, okay. And it's a very valid question. You have to think about how you will manage that.
Excellent. Okay, so thanks very much for that.
You're welcome.